and is very active. He's been at recent D-Trains, being at the southwest border, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a moment, and other flotilla events in our District 5 region. He just can't make it everything, so being a young hipster millennial, he outsourced this one to me to come to the Pacific Northwest. I felt like this was a wonderful opportunity. I've been in the office for 2 years, but I haven't had a chance to come to a D-Train. It's my first D-Train, just based on the fact that COVID precautions and things like that. So it's wonderful to be here and see how you guys do things, and thanks again for having us. No rebuttals, of course, for the Commodore, but I will highlight on a few things she talked about. I wasn't even going to include this, but the investigation effort she was talking about, the Mariner Credential Force Task Force, I think it's MCF-TF. They did an amazing job incorporating auxiliarists, and I worked with their deputy director to put forward some awards for those deserving auxiliaries who helped find and track down hard-to-reach criminals who had paid certain people for either a new license or an updated license or things like that. So the work the auxiliary did there was noted and helped directly keep the nation citizens and waterways safe. So just a quick addition to that. So I did have a couple things I was going to highlight here. I'd be bereft if I didn't mention the Southwest border operations. Truly an incredible success story that the auxiliary has been asked to step up on behalf of the department and Customs and Border Protection to say, hey, is there anything that you guys can do to spell us? Because the onus was put on the Coast Guard, and we simply could not send the manpower to this operation. The auxiliary stepped up and have sent so many people down there and done such an amazing job that the ask was extended if the auxiliary could stay a little bit longer, and then they were asked again to stay a little bit longer. So now that the operation continues until November, and just recently, I'm sure it's over 10,000 hours. The last I checked was over 9,000 hours of support to this critical operation. So truly an amazing success story. You guys knocking it out of the park, and just wanted to thank you for all you do for that. You may ask yourself, what does BSX do? I asked myself that when I first got there. And really, our goal is to provide solid footing from a policy and procedure perspective to the organization. So hopefully we do that. And one of the main ways we try to do that are through policy letters and all locks messaging. So if you don't read those, I encourage you to. And if your membership doesn't read them, I encourage you to encourage them. We've had some recent policy letters come out in regards to auxiliary navigation rules, exams update, and then several that I put together in regards to aux data 2, and a recent all aux message in regards to a comprehensive update for mission activity codes. That one was about 7 pages. Had a tremendous amount of help putting that together from subject matter experts in the auxiliary, and we think that's going to provide value. And the reason we undertook that effort is because we wanted you to have that granularity of better reporting for this mission hour set for this operation. So we are having that demand signal from our leadership top down and say, hey, what is the auxiliary doing? This provides them that extra bit of value to showcase all that you guys do. So and it comes from the heart when we say, please encourage your membership to put in mission hours to get recognized for what they do. I'll keep it moving and keep it real short. I only have one more thing I wanted to touch on, and that was the Auxiliary Integration Award. Commodore spoke on that. We had that demand signal from the highest levels of Coast Guard leadership to, hey, find a way to encourage active duty units to integrate the auxiliary, and the best way we could do that would be an annual award on par with some of the other awards in the Coast Guard, such as the Innovation Awards and Auxiliaries of the Year, Coast Guardsman of the Year, that type of thing. So we're going to memorialize that here with more information to follow soon once it is signed. And then we would ask that you help get the word out. So whether it's at the local station, every Coast Guard unit will be available to be submitted for this. The hard part will be getting the word out to them that it exists as an ED program. So please do share with them. If you work actively or your membership works actively with a station, a recruiting office, a sector, a district, to read this message that's going to come out and hopefully put a package in and so that way they maybe get national recognition for innovative and effective ways to integrate the auxiliary. So we're just encouraging that, and I'll be here all day today. If you have any questions for me, please do find me. And thank you again so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, now we're going to hear from our new Director of Auxiliary, Commander Jansen.
Thanks. It's great to see so many people here, particularly all from District 13. On behalf of Admiral, welcome. He's unfortunately not able to make it. He's, I think at this time, he's over at Cape May to be a recruit company mentor for Whiskey 202. This is his first trip over there, and then he has 2 more trips, one in the middle of their boot camp and then one at graduation. So he sends his regrets, but does want to say that he's immensely proud of everything that the auxiliary has been doing in District 13. Unlike Lieutenant Booth, who's been in the job for 2 years, I've been in the job for 2 months, and it's been a really busy 2 months. I started out going to NACON, kind of overwhelmed there with everything, then talking to the Commodore here, and then coming here, and then getting to go out and do a QE session on the water was just great to really see what's going on. So I think I know enough to be dangerous, maybe, so careful. Really wanted to shout out to the staff. They've done a tremendous job. Bosun's really held it together in that 3 or 4 month span when I wasn't there, but my predecessor already retired. And since I've been there, we've been sending people to the border, getting that orders all last minute figured out, wrestling with this new finance system and an E2, and even to make this happen here, YN1 and Bosun were working until like 6:30 or 7 o'clock on Friday night to get all the final orders in and tweak things in the system. I don't even know what it was, but they worked their magic and we're here today. But it's tremendous. I'm looking forward to learning more about what we do here in the district. And after yesterday, hearing all the great ideas and direction and passion that people have, it is really really inspiring. And I look forward to seeing where we go in the future together. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Commodore Goodwin.
The immediate past DCO normally sits at the end of the table. Now, we've heard some things, Hudine, that when the Commodores are through with their term, they kind of push us off at the end. But no, I don't think that's true, because we can be very helpful. So anyway, call on us, Hudine. Anyway, before I leave this office, I want to say thank you for the support and the kindness that you showed me during those 4 years as District Commodore and the 3 years as immediate past. That is such an honor that I will always cherish. I think District 13 is the best district in the nation, and I'm so very proud of you, and I hope you can feel that pride inside of you. So I want to say thank you. Thank you what you've done for me, for all of us, and keep up the great work. Thank you.
Yeah, I surely hope that I don't have to spend another 3 or 4 years like Kathy did. So I hope it goes through. Chief of Staff, Dan Keeling.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Last few months we have really been back in action, and I want to take just a moment or two to touch on some of the key items that we've seen in our Aux Scout program and in our different district directorates. First in Aux Scout, Flotilla 22 and Division 2 have been busy. They supported the Station Seattle Safety at Sea Day, where the Sea Scouts from 3 ships, I believe, gained skills in all kinds of different areas. 3 auxiliaries served as mates for the Sea Scout ship Argo in Bellingham. We had 1 auxiliary instructor that was the galley chief on Seattle Seal long cruise. And we have currently 27 auxiliaries in the district that have completed the Boy Scout of America's Youth Protection Training. And on the 16th of September, Facil 22 received authorization for level 2 engagement directly with the Sea Scout youth. This does include some restrictions, but this is a really encouraging and great thing to see happen. In logistics, we conducted 2 Zoom CS workshops, communication services workshops. We trained 10 members to become certified as OXCA 1, Culinary Assistant 1 in 2022. We offered training in 2 land-based galleys, Cape Disappointment, Station Portland, and on 2 cutters, Polar Star and Healy. We conducted 2 Zoom meetings in diversity, the Naval 3 Star Award, and conducted 2 Zoom workshops for HR, and we conducted several Zoom workshops for IS. In prevention, we conducted more than 34 fishing vessel examinations. We have been planning and participating with other agencies in cleanup activities and pollution prevention education classes. The auxiliary continues to be the official instructors for the boat Oregon education classes, and we are responsible for the administration of the safe boating education for the Oregon State Marine Board. Finally, in response, auxiliary boat crews assisted the active duty in providing a safety zone for the naval vessels during Fleet Week at the Portland Rose Festival. We also stood watch in the communications trailer, radio watch. We supported the swim event and the Ironman triathlon in Coeur d'Alene, and assisted removing 62 swimmers that were unable to complete the swimming event from the chilly 56-degree water. Auxiliary boat crews assisted in active duty and law enforcement providing a safety zone for the Richland Regatta, which is a small hydroplane races, as well as the Columbia Cup, which is a nationally sanctioned hydroplane race. At Seattle Seafair, we're able to patrol and secure an airbox for the Blue Angels during their performance. And in the area of communications, we added 4 new TCOs, 2 new HF, and a new OXMON member. Wow, that's a lot of great stuff. I think we are indeed. We are back. Given the difficult times, I think it's one heck of an impressive list. I'd like to thank District 13 members for making this all happen. And I hope everybody is looking forward to opportunities like I am in the coming months. Thank you.
Very good. So, I want to now have Craig Brown come up. He's our liaison with Power Squadron, and he's also now, my understanding, going to the lead directorate too, which happens to be under my category, so it looks like we're going to be together, Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig Brown. I am the Craig Brown in Division 3. I know that there is another Craig Brown out in the eastern area, so to keep the confusion down. NACO talked about force increasing and trying to look for opportunities where we can do stuff. So what can we do to help? Because we, as in the auxiliary, have a challenge just trying to help you get through and do all of what we need to do. There is an opportunity out there to be able to partner with the Power Squadrons. The United States Power Squadrons, or as they are doing business, America's Boating Club, they are a wonderful organization. They have the same mission set. The only thing is that they don't have the ability to go out and do some of the augmentation of the Coast Guard, but they are in the education, they are in the vessel examinations, they are in the public affairs business and all that stuff too. So it is an opportunity for us to be able to reach out to our partners in the United States Power Squadron and ask them to be able to help us. At the same time, we can help them. You as instructors, every Power Squadron member that is an instructor and every Coast Guard Auxiliary member that is an instructor are equivalent. You've been all through the exact same instructor development training. And in fact, an auxiliarist can supplement and work and teach Power Squadron courses, and Power Squadron instructors can teach auxiliary classes. We also have the vessel examinations that we both go out and do. We can do public affairs together. That is a common event to be able to do, and we've been able to do that successfully. 20 years ago, when the Admiral asked me to reach out and see about working with the Power Squadron and take care of the fighting, literal fighting that was going on between the two organizations, there was a lot of animosity between the two organizations 20 years ago when I started this. We've been able to work and figure out, hey, the Coast Guard Auxiliary does not get our instructor materials free. We actually have to pay more than what the Power Squadron does for their instruction materials. So, you know, that's the type of stuff that goes on. I encourage us to reach out and look for opportunities to work with the Power Squadrons to be able to become a force multiplier, if you want to call it that, and how to get our message out to the boating community. The boating community as a whole, we are getting to less than 2% of the boating community. Between everything we do, we get out to less than 2% of the boating community. We need to be able to figure out how to be able to do that more. And we can do that by working with the Coast Guard and Coast Guard Auxiliary and the Power Squadrons to being able to get that message out. So that's what I'd like to encourage. If you have any questions, if you have any challenges, we'll put it that way. If you're looking for how do I get in contact, please feel free to reach out to me. I have been the reason I have not been here for the last several years, not just because of COVID, was I worked my way up through the leadership within the Power Squadron for District 16, which covers Idaho, Washington, and Alaska. I was a district commander. I'm the immediate past district commander. That is the exact same position as what Tiny is in currently, but within the Power Squadron. I have very good connections with District 32, the Power Squadron District 32, which covers almost precisely the same area of responsibility as the southern area of the auxiliary, so Southwest Washington and Oregon. I have very good connections and I can help. I'll help in whatever way. Reach out, let me know. Thank you.
All right, Neil, if you don't mind, let's do a roll call.
Will the following people please indicate their presence? District Commodore.
Present.
Chief of Staff.
Present.
Chief Director's Representative.
Present.
Director of Auxiliary.
Present. Oh,
Vice National Commodore.
Present.
Immediate Past District Commodore.
President.
District Captain North.
Present.
South. East.
Present.
Division Commander, Division 1.
Present.
2.
Present.
3 not present, but I'm representing. Division Commander 4.
Present.
5.
I'm representing.
Representing 6.
Present.
7.
Present.
8.
Present.
10.
Present.
11.
Present.
President of the Past Commanders Association.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Neil. So what I'm gonna do right now is, so that we can get into the elections, okay, I'm gonna have Mr. Stir come up, and he is going to run the election, okay? So he will be taking command. Come on up, sir.
going back in person. It's been a while since we've had an election in person. We've done it electronically now for a couple of years, and it's just great to be back. We just announced that we have a quorum, so we can hold our election. And all the candidates running for office today have been vetted by the election committee, and they meet all of the requirements to run. And I have a teller committee. The head teller is Carol Bobo. And then Brad Hooper's on the committee, as well as Evan Fisher. And the teller committee will be handing out the ballots, collecting the ballots, tallying the votes, and report the election results to the presiding officer, which is myself. Okay, I need to go over a couple items from the standing rules, because it's been a while since we've had an election in person. We've had different rules for COVID times. So I'm gonna go over just a couple of the District 13 rules. So the Oxman and our District 13 rules of what we're gonna do to run the election. 7.3 in the district standing rules. I'm gonna have to read just a few sections here. Prior to opening the balloting for election of each district officer, the presiding officer shall invite nominations by any voting member from the floor. The nominator, prior to making the nomination from the floor, is responsible for ascertaining the eligibility and willingness of the nominee to accept the office and fulfill its duties, if ultimately elected. No second shall be required for the nomination from the floor. Self-nomination is not allowed from the floor. Candidates nominated from the floor must be present at the election and must firmly state that they will accept the nomination and serve if elected. The presiding officer shall accept all eligible nominations from the floor, and the name of each such nominee from the floor shall be added to the balloting for such elected office. For the purpose of election provisions in these rules, the term floor shall include only incumbent district board members. Any questions before we go to the next section? It's just important to know how we're going to run, because we could have nominations from the floor again. Okay, 7.6 of the standing rules. If a majority of eligible voting members for a candidate, that majority vote is sufficient to elect the candidate to the office. If more than 2 candidates are nominated for any district office and no candidates receive the majority of the votes on the first ballot, now it goes to 7.6.1. The candidate receiving the least number of votes on the first ballot will be dropped out of the voting on the second ballot. The elimination of the low vote candidate will continue on the next subsequent round ballot until one candidate receives the majority of the votes cast. It's a little dry, but it's important that we go through this. If there is a tie for low votes, so if we have, for example, 3 candidates, and one candidate has, say, 5 votes and 2 have 4, I'm just making up numbers, you have to have a vote for the low, 2 lows. Okay? Before we move on to continue. If there's a tie for the low votes received on any ballot, the next ballot results were gone off between candidates tied for the low vote on the preceding ballot. The candidate receiving the highest number of votes on the runoff between the 2 tied for the low vote will be included in the next succeeding ballot, along with all of the candidates who receive a higher number of votes on the ballot preceding the tie for the low ballot. Questions on that? It sounds like it's confusing, but
Yes.
okay, well, only one more small piece, and then we'll get started.
Okay.
Okay, 7.6.3. In the event of 3 successive tied votes for any district office, the presiding officer shall, in open session, place all the ballots cast on such third tie vote into a container and blindly select one from the ballot container. At that point, the teller committee then shall tally the remaining ballots, present the ballots to the presiding officer in a sealed envelope. The certify the results of the balloting to the presiding officer, who shall announce the result of the ballot, and if the last ballot between the two candidates running office, the final election result. Done with all the housekeeping.
Okay, very good.
Any questions? Okay, the first election we're gonna have today is for DCO. And we have two candidates submitted for DCO, and it's John Costick and Dan Keenly. So those are the two that were submitted. And at this time, are there any nominations from the floor for DCO? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCO? Well, are there any nominations from the floor for DCO? Okay. Hearing none, we have two candidates running. And John Costick already sent his comments to the board members already. Hopefully everybody received those, because he's not here today, he's out of country. Dan, do you have any comments before the election?
Sure. 3 years ago, when I was to chief of staff, I thought I knew quite a bit about how the district was run and what is needed in administration and so on. I was wrong. There's a lot more to it. And luckily, I was provided the opportunity to work with Tiny for a year and then participate in a 2-year ASOC class, Auxiliary Senior Officer course, which is a grueling 2-year course that goes through everything that you should know and be able to do and be able to speak to as a DCO. Gosh, I'm so thankful for the people that provided that program. It's been extremely valuable to me, and I'm really looking forward to the possibility. If I get the honor of DCO, I just promise to do my very best and support the members of District 13.
Okay, the eligible voters for DCO, we have DNACO, DCO, DCOS, immediate past Commodore, the PDCA, President, DCAPS North, East and South, all 10 divisions, and I believe division, and DIROCs, I'm sorry, Commander. And all divisions except Division 3, we don't have a voting for president. Or
She's the vice division commander.
vice. Okay, at this time, we have our teller pass out the ballots. If you want to abstain from voting, just turn in a blank ballot.
And if anybody gives any trouble, I brought this.
Ephraim, you want to start collecting the ballots, please? We'll wait for the color committee to count the ballots and find the results of the election.
You know, when we were at NACON, it just kind of,
I thought Tiny was gonna go up and do a Spanish, or a Scottish jig.
yeah, you won't see that in your lifetime. But in NACON, talking about having to have the 3 rounds, I mean, because that, they had over three people won the spots. The first vote was just to see who the low person was, basically, and then they were out, and then the other 2 actually, then took the vote. And it still had to be a majority on that, but it was interesting to see. We've not had that case in quite a while, so.
Honey,
Yes.
it is good to hear the rules and, you know, to do it properly here, because I've had the pleasure of messing up an election that I was conducting. And, you know, just as a reminder, many of you in this room are gonna have had that opportunity, are gonna have that opportunity. Do just what John did. Read the rules, read them carefully, talk to your tellers ahead of time, talk about what's gonna happen, and talk to the lead officer, whatever the unit is, so that they understand, because there's a lot of things that we do almost by route that are not necessarily actually the rules. And you never want to be in an election conflict because you're the person who messed it up. I can tell you from experience.
Yeah, it's, I've only, in all the years I've been in, I've only seen it one time, and it's, the bad thing to it is it's so simple if you do it right, and then there's no question on it. The problem is when you don't, and then there's this conflict there. So Darren's right, and John, that's the reason, love having him do it. And, he may never give up the position or be able to give up the position. You know, but it's great to have this. I mean, you talk about tremendous to me is that we're actually in person. We're having this, what day and night difference it is though. Because it was just a year ago we were doing this all by Zoom and go to meeting. And it takes away from it because you don't get the flavor. Uh-oh. All right, did you guys do something to Carol out there?
Yes, we did. Carol, did we have a majority?
Yes.
So we have a majority vote, and our new DCO elect is Dan Keeling.
All right.
Okay, next we're going to do the election for DCOS, Chief of Staff. We've had 2 names submitted, and they are Mark Hannibal and Craig Hartman. Are there any nominations from the floor for DCOS? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCOS? One last time, are there any nominations from the floor for DCOS? Okay, it's closed, and we just have the 2 candidates running. Mark, would you like to have a few comments before the election?
Good morning. Good morning. Are you excited to be here today? Yes. All right, I'm excited to be here also. And I'm also excited because I have a vision for District 13. I see District 13 as a leader, not only in Team Coast Guard, but also in the Coast Guard Auxiliary. I see us, as the members, using all of our talents, our time, and our abilities to accomplish whatever task is assigned us, whether it be in recreational boater safety, or it be in our missions, our surface operations. We are going to lead the way. We're going to do the job excellently and as perfectly as we can without delay. The auxiliary is my passion, and those of you who know me know that it is my passion, and it's also been my primary focus, at least the last 6 years since I've retired. I currently serve as the District Directorate Chief for Prevention, and in that capacity I work directly with the district staff officers for marine safety, member training, navigation systems, public affairs, public education, the state liaison officer, the program visitor, the vessel examiners, and the color guard program managers. Last year, as you know, I was the DDC for response, and in that capacity I worked with the DSO for aviation, for communications, emergency management, and operations. Serving in these capacities has given me a vision and an understanding of the Coast Guard across our District 13 and the operations of District 13 across the 4-state region. And that's a little bit different than us having responsibility for a sole region, such as the North, the South, or the East. I retired as a supervising attorney for 36 felony criminal defense attorneys. And I learned the key to organizational success is servant leadership. I try to conduct everything by the motto, I lead to serve the member. By being there and serving the member feels the support of the leader and will oftentimes do a much better job because of that close relationship. The leader does not do the job for the member. He or she allows the member to do the job and is there as a support, as a resource. I also learned another very important principle of servant leadership, and that is listening. Listening. When the leader listens to his constituents, listens to the members feel that support. They know that they have the leader's ear, and consequently they will work harder, and you will have a stronger organization than otherwise. I have the time, the desire, the energy, and the support to perform the duties of the District Chief of Staff. As I stated, my passion is the auxiliary, and I am here to serve. I ask that you elect me to serve you as your District Chief of Staff. Thank you.
Greg, any comments before the election?
Yes. Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work and your help. Without you, we wouldn't have an auxiliary. Auxiliary is its members. We've had a tough couple of years. We've lost some connection with some of our members. We've lost some functionality. It's time to rebuild that. I think we can do that best by improving communication, improving training, but driving it all down to the flotilla level. As Mark said, we are servants. We are your servants, right? We're not leadership. You're really the body of the auxiliary. We just support you. And I would look forward to being able to support each and every one of you. Moving forward, I won't say it's going to be easy, but it's going to be hard. We have members that have stepped away from our organization. We've lost the core family unity that we used to have in our flotillas. I mean, that's really what we were, as families, groups, families, teams. We need to increase the fourth cornerstone events. I want to have fun again. I hope you do too. I think we've lost that. COVID's kind of taken that away from us. We need to re-engage that. Let's have some more, do an activity out there and supporting the Coast Guard's boating safety mission. Maybe have lunch. together or have a meal afterwards. Enjoy yourselves. It's about having fun and doing good work. If we're passionate and we're having a good time, we can do good things and support the public and the Coast Guard boating safety mission. I thank you very much for your consideration for electing me or considering elect me as Chief of Staff. Should it be elected, I am super excited to take on that role. I think there's a lot of things we can do to grow and to rebuild our unit, and I'd like to have that opportunity to help you. Thank you.
Okay, the eligible voters for DCOS, DNACO, DCO, DCOS, Anita Pass Commodore, PDCA President, DCAPS North, East, and South, all 10 divisions except Division 3, and the director. Last one. You get there.
Sorry.
But you now have the teller committee hand out the ballots for DCOS.
Is there a thermostat where you can ask how it's raised?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's where you're sitting. Blowing on you. Watch out.
You were gonna have to survive this because that's actually behind the standard. I think that's the reason you have that heat there. Well, we're waiting again.
There's only one Jeff.
I was down. The recess.
So you're gonna flip it.
So we were trying, really what we're trying to do is make it like Akon in Orlando. You know, that's the only place I go to, 100 meters outside.
What
and
about
that's
the
all weather's in that.
I mean, I know it's not.
I have sweaters on anyway, but I'm over the north weather. My wife goes down there, I love it.
This doesn't apply to the visual commander, no, but we're yes, we gotta get He's gonna use it on your heads, we don't want to make it quiet.
All right, we have a majority for the elections of GCOS. The new district chief of staff is Craig Hartman. Next, we're going to have election for DCAP East. We have one candidate that submitted their name, and that's Doug Harris. And are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP East? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP East? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP East? We have one candidate. The eligible voters are D13, DCO. Well, I'm stepped ahead, I'm sorry, Doug. Would you like to say a few words? No.
Man, a few words.
One word. At this time. No. Okay. The eligible voters are D13, DCO, DCOS, immediate past Commodore, DCAP East, Director of the Auxiliary, and Divisions 8, 10, and 11. Okay, in the case of unopposed elections, what we have, there are no nominations. Pursuant to the Oxman, voting will be by acclamation unless a voting member demands a secret ballot. If any Any voting member demands a secret ballot. Hearing none, all in favor of Doug Harris to be elected as DCAP East, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
Now we're gonna have an election for DCAP North. And we have one nomination that was submitted, that's Klaus Niehaus. And are there any nominations for the floor for DCAP North? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP North? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP North? We don't have any, so Klaus is the only one running. Do you have any comments before the election?
I would like to have some comments, yes.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Klaus Niehaus, currently Division Commander, Division 2, Seattle Metro. I'm hoping you will consider giving me your vote at this election. I'm running for DCAP North to follow Deborah Alderman in that position. I have great respect for Deborah. Division 2 has had a very successful year so far, following a division plan we developed last September. Supported by a full slate of staff officers, we have to date fulfilled their goals in public affairs, public education, and other recreational voting safety undertakings. We've had great fellowship and engaging member training. We have seen wonderful connection with the active duty and Sea Scouts, and we have had success in returning to in-person and hybrid meetings. Attendance at our meetings and events has rivaled or exceeded pre-COVID numbers. Personally, I've found my 2 national training director positions incredibly rewarding in the work that's being carried out on my teams. A 5-year program of revamping all courses and developing truly transformational member training content and supporting the other T director divisions. I serve as your district staff officer for the Ox Scout program, as our division's member training officer, as an instructor, vessel examiner, culinary assistant 1, and I'm currently working on getting my crew qualifications, and just this past weekend, finished my PQS for the AIDS Verifier program. With enthusiasm, regular 2-way dialogue, availability, a listening ear, as well as programmed and spur-of-the-moment activities, we can work together to provide rewarding and truly meaningful opportunities for our members and our customers. I value collaboration. We're separated in geography, but not in mission. We have different strengths, and we have members who want to contribute in ways that may not be available in the local unit. Now retired, my background is in grassroots community development with skills honed in both the public sphere as well as in academic settings, including teaching and earning several graduate degrees and Fannie Mae Fellowship at the Kennedy School of Government. I'm privileged to serve as an instructor for the auxiliary flotilla leadership classes, where students bring a wealth of information on what has worked and what has not worked in their units. All this I want to be able to share with you and your units to realize the district's vision of being the leader in the nation. Could I get your vote? Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, the eligible voters are DNACO, DCO, DCOS, immediate past Commodore, DCAP North, Director of the Auxiliary, Division Commanders from 1, 2, and 4. Once again, in the case of an unopposed election pursuant to the Oxman, voting will be by acclamation unless a voting member demands a secret ballot. Does any voting member demand a secret ballot? Hearing none, all in favor of Klaus Niehaus to be elected as DCAP North, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Nelson. Last but not least, we have election for DCAP South. And we have one submission for DCAP South, and that's Kevin Field. Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP South? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP South? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP South? Hearing none, we have one candidate. And Kevin, would you like to say a few words before the election?
Please.
Good morning. Good morning. It's been an honor and privilege to serve as District Captain South this year. And I'd really like the opportunity to serve a second and final term. I want to continue building on the success and the lessons we learned this year. Also, I welcome the chance to work with two new incoming division commanders, as we'll soon be electing division commanders in Division 5 and Division 6, along with their vice division commanders. We've tried to start a Southern Area leadership team this year, and I want to try and get that up completely on step. I think it's really a good path forward for us as a division, and it can help us share work and be more efficient and accomplish our goals as a Southern area. Finally, I promise I'll listen to your needs, your concerns, and I'll work hard to support the flotillas and the divisions, if you elect me. Thanks.
Thank you, Kevin. And once again, we have an unopposed election. Pursuant to the Oxman, voting will be by acclamation unless a voting member demands a secret ballot. Does any voting member demand a secret ballot? Hearing none, all in favor that Kevin Field be elected as DCAP South, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Kevin. This will conclude the elections, and I will ask our ADSO LP if we ran the election according to Oxman and the standing rules.
The election was conducted according to the Ox Manual and the District 13 standing rules.
Thank you, sir. This concludes the elections, and I turn it back to you, Tom.
All right,
Strong vote.
great job. Congratulations to the new winners and to the new staff. And I have to say to you that did run and didn't make it, it was so, it had to be close. I guarantee you, because I know that everybody's done a good job, Mark, and also I feel John's not here, John Costa, but my hands are off for him, putting up and doing all that you do, and I mean that. But what I'd like to do before we take a break, if the commander wouldn't mind joining me, I'd at least like to get a couple of little rocking going on here. Let me give you this one out and give you the left side. Dan, you want to come on down? Come on here. He's so daggone tall, man. I'm gonna break it. Congratulations on it. I took this side that, I'll never forget when Kathy had given me the big one that the new DCOS is gonna have to wear when they put on a dress uniform. And it took her to help me try to figure out how to put it on too. Because it's not easy, I'll guarantee you. Okay? Hold on, we got this right here. So I can get there. Well, you already seen what the Commandant did when they were frocking me at NACON. Well, it wasn't the Commandant, she was good at it. It was Alex, the National Commodore, he's hitting it like that. All right, let's get a picture. All right, Mr. Hartman, get up. Wait a minute, sir. I'm gonna give you that there. Oh, you know what, that's good.
Not short enough?
I don't know if I'm gonna, oh, you know what, he has those on there, so I apologize, turn around. Put that arm.
Get the arm.
Lift that arm a little bit.
Gotta get Dan's wife to help you.
Sorry about that.
It's all right, you haven't hooked me yet.
That's coming.
So you get the shoulder thumbs, time.
You what now?
The shoulder thumbs.
Yeah, that's gonna be a new tradition.
You're just gonna have to keep those arms still. Come here.
Where's the auxiliary? You can't find the knob that'll work.
No, I'm trying not to keep talking.
If I have to bleed, I will bleed.
Come on. There we go. All right.
You gotta give them a Maluski dip there, though.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Now, here's the dilemma, okay? Because that I tried to order these from Auxiliary Association 5 weeks ago, they're on back order. So unfortunately, I'm only gonna be able to do one decal, okay, at this time. But I will take, let's get close, I'll just go north to south, okay?
Flip a coin.
Let's have an election.
And Doug, I apologize, okay, but I promise you, you have some coming. But I want you to come up and take photos and everything too, okay? All right.
Give one each. You put it right in the middle.
Just let them wear it.
Just always stand like this.
I think the commander's a little bit more adept to doing this than myself. It seems like I'm a little bit slow. That's okay.
Tiny, he has younger fingers.
They're definitely not that.
It's all right, I can't talk and do it at the same time.
Thanks very much and congratulations. Doug, come on up, sir. Just take them off the clock. Yeah, you know what? See, I want to show you something. This is what I came loaded with, okay? So I thought,
I'll take one of those.
Tiny.
You guys put a line, put a line for this.
Okay, thank you. And I went to our district store and they only had the dress ones, and so I didn't want to hold on to the night tonight in case you weren't in the dress uniform. All right. All right, congratulations, too. Thank you. Okay. All right, that's it. Let's take a break, okay? And then we'll come back in 10 minutes, all right? Let's just say at 20 minutes till, okay? That'll give you a good little break.
Well, I'm still over there. I'm school. I went to East Bachelor's, master's. That's why my traffic sucks. I hope
So part of the way I can look at how items segregate.
Apparently it's sort of a university just kind of looking. I mean, it's nice that we're mostly just working to enjoy everything that's being out of town. I'm still living in Chicago just because it's better places.
No, I didn't realize that was actually these challenge for me in the past.
I work at Refresh this which is really me sitting alone in my office 4 hours a day. I get frustrated. Like your forms all day. Free time so I can anybody else. Because I report to the associate superintendent, so I report directly to her. So she's able to just sort of go, hey, here, do this. So I was like, it's getting worse. You
That's where I help you.
Scotch really like one of the because it's like, yeah, Scotch really has not had now I have no Scotch.
I have on my challenge.
Somebody had but it came out. Some specific, light yellow. Yeah, that kind of honey. It's this dark brown, not quite as dark as glasses. Something.
I'm gonna take it home. Not now.
Well, I mean, I can, how much time do you want? Yeah.
I do it after.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be good. Yep. Good, so.
Come on.
You got my email, right? I'm not, oh, you did, okay. I totally understand, I'm kind of, it's great. I'm going back, because 25 is going back to virtual. Okay. The man they had, resigned.
The long.
The new guy. Back to virtual.
Yes, but even that.
That's really, virtually, that's never. And I know those guys three-dimensionally, you know, I've only seen you guys two-dimensionally, and I was not able to make a connection between seeing you in three dimensions and seeing you in two dimensions. For some, to me, you look different. So, yeah. Yeah, I still want to. But I hope we're not enough scouting and I don't have to drive here. So having to drive all the way up to the middle part was prohibitive. Time-wise, gas, if you're the price of gas, disrupting everything. So now that they're back on.
That's
So I don't think part of the I don't think Dialogue is done anything. I don't know who's supposed to do what, but nobody's doing anything. So I think if it just all goes into the ether, you know, yeah, exactly. Dialogue, if something does come up, yeah, don't. You know, as we call it, yeah, that would be yeah, exactly. Good thing about it. Last time, going on I got rid of all the great jobs I had that required so thank you for that.
Hey, Haley, get away with that. That's okay. I apologize for not getting it.
Anyway,
I love it.
Did you get it working? Good.
So I can't log in. So Like, it worked fine to help you. But I last time I was here, I was able to have
Let's start getting the scene.
so I was able to log into my phone.
Okay, come on over, Louis, would you?
I don't think we need to. I think you did it yourself, sir.
So, what I'd like to do to start the second half is, YN1, well, Jean will come up here, she has some orders she'd like to tell you about orders and everything, we've had with Jason and Bentley. That fell on the floor.
Good morning, everyone. I am so thankful to be here today. The reason why I'm here, I want to provide support. We noticed that when we start doing orders for the B train, there's a couple of you guys that have pending travel vouchers sitting in your E2 account. So if you want to get paid, you need to check with me if you have anything pending. So another thing is,
Even if you don't want to get paid, you still need to check.
so if you're not sure, I'll be in the back or upstairs and just check with me and I'll go in the system and check if you have anything pending. If you travel, make sure that you send me all your receipt and then I'll do the travel orders. It's easier for me that way. And it's easier for you. So once I'm done, I send it back to you to review it. When you're okay with all your expenses, then you can send it back to me and I'll approve it.
When you say upstairs?
The lobby.
Oh, in the lobby, okay, got it, I know what you're talking about.
So I'll be available today if you want to check out with me and then that's it.
Okay, thank you. I have not seen the bosun smile as much as he has. So anyway, what we're gonna do now is we're going to have the reports from the division commanders. What I'd like is we're going to start with Division 11. And we're gonna go backwards, but I'm not gonna get up each time to tell you come up. So as the first division commander says, I'm done, the next one, please come up, okay? And please try to keep it right around that 5-minute area, okay, if you can.
45 seconds.
You're not gonna do a few words, come on up.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
So, this is normally my sleeping time. I work graveyard shifts, so that's why I've been having my Coca-Cola over there. So anyways, so I'm gonna kind of summarize a couple of things here. So, I'm the Division 11. We're the Desert Mariners. That's our flag motto over there. So, geographical area. We're southern Idaho, so from the west towards Ontario, Oregon, to the east, Pocatello, Wyoming border. We have a couple lakes, central Idaho, McCall area, Hale Lake, some valley area, ski area. So we have a lot of those inland areas, and the Snake River, of course, along the way too. So it's been a pleasure to serve the last 2 years. So I've learned a tremendous amount. So this is the second one of these I've ever attended. And so thank you very much for the opportunity, learned a tremendous amount. So I have a Boise flotilla, I only have one flotilla under my purview. And also one thing, we're probably the fastest growing area with the Treasure Valley, Idaho, southern Idaho. So a lot of paddlecraft in that area. It's just exploding with the population and the growth. So there's a lot of huge opportunity, and we're going to try to expand on that. So we're struggling with engaging members, his future leaders. We are trying to remotivate our members that we talked about. Recruitment is a huge key. We do well. Our group really works well together. So we have a really good core group of, really important group of folks. We network really well with city government and local businesses, boating vendors, marine dealers. Trying to make missions more important to local needs, talking about paddlecraft and the different parks and the water park that we have in Boise that was developed. And we're going to be working more with the Boise Recruiting Office. And so takeaways next year, we're going to try to increase membership. We need really to rebuild the operations program. That's really a struggle that we have. We've distributed over 3,000 paddlecraft kits, safety kits in the Treasure Valley, and that's an emphasis. I think I hit that three times now. Emphasize public affairs interaction. We've been doing some youth. We did a waterfowl event for waterfowlers. The season, a lot of times we don't get a lot of the waterfowl hunters. There's a youth fair that we talked about boating safety, and so we try to hit that group. We've done youth safety event that we had down in the Emmett Valley, and we hit that like in the spring. So we're trying to engage youth. We've done school presentations, National Safe Boating Week proclamations. We teaming with Canyon County Sheriff's Department. We have a really good partnership with that, and that's on the Deer Flat National Wildlife Refuge. We are also increasing some of the PA events. Special thanks to Jenny Shea for coming down and assisting us this year. Really appreciate that with the PA and also the interface with the active duty recruiting station in Boise. But just in concluding, I really learned a lot. Appreciate the opportunity, and it's a great organization. Just can't emphasize that enough. We're really proud to be here. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning. Morning. Kyle Boyce, Missoula, Montana. Division 10, Montana. We have 33 members, divided between 3 flotillas, 1 in Billings with 11, Helena with 3 with 16 members, Kalispell with 5 members. So we have a real challenge. The distance from Kalispell to Billings is 425 miles. That's a 7-hour drive through deer country. Helena in the middle, we have 200 miles to Kalispell, 3.5 hours, and 250 miles to Billings, that's 4.5 hours. So our distances are phenomenal. Most of our infrequent in-person general meetings are held in Helena. With a virtual component, we cannot function without that. Billings has the Yellowstone River, part of the Western River System, frequented by thousands of people each year. Helena has 3 major bodies of water, all part of the Western River System. Canyon Ferry Lake, which is 21 miles long, only 4 miles wide. Has 87 miles of shoreline. Hauser Lake, 15.5 miles long, it's about 2.5 miles wide. Holter Lake, 38 miles long, well, about 15 miles, 20 miles long, 38 miles of shoreline, has a national recreation area as part of it. Kalispell has Flathead Lake, which is 27 miles long, 15.5 miles wide, 360 feet deep, pristine water, you can drink it. It has 187.5 miles of shoreline. Each of these flotillas must deal with a variety of jurisdictions, including multiple county governments, sheriff's departments, search and rescue teams, Fish, Wildlife and Parks, Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, and various tribes. So reaching out to all of these people is becoming a phenomenal task. The 2 main focuses for our division this past year were in operations and member training, both to get members motivated after COVID and out of REYR, which we had a lot of people in. Operations being a major focus, Division 10 coxswains and crews spent over 230 man-hours on 30 different patrols. We had 1 assist, spent part of 1 patrol in support of the Montana Fish Wildlife Parks in Nazgula in training law enforcement officers. And aside, it was so much fun spending a whole day being chased by policemen. This year we had 3 active operational facilities, 1 coxswain retired, 1 new coxswain, 2 coxswains requalified, 3 boat crew requalified. We helped coxswains and boat crews from other districts train and requalified, thus tying together our family of Coast Guard Auxiliary from multiple regions. We would like to continue that effort. Member training being another focus, Division 10 instructors spend over 33.5 hours conducting member training. That's codes 06 Alpha and 06 Bravo. And individual members spending over 320 hours in member training themselves. That's 99 double. We have some trouble spots. One flotilla has almost no member activity this past year. In fact, I think we can only record 6 hours of member activity from that whole flotilla in the past year. Almost all of its members will be in either REYR or rework. A second flotilla, as you may have noticed, is very small, but it's active. There are a number of boat crew that were not able to requalify this year because of illness. COVID hit us hard in some areas, or work conflicts. One crew was working 70 hours a week, and so it's hard to get away from do fun stuff. A number of our members are still in REYR as instructors, vessel inspectors, program visitors, and boat crew. So, focus for the future. Division 10 will continually focus on the 4 largest bodies of water. We'll try to draw members from other divisions to come and help participate in patrolling these waters. We plan to nurture relationships with our local law enforcement, both on Flathead Lake and in Rockwater and Stillwater counties in Montana. Their search and rescue teams, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, and the Army National Guard, where they do training, helicopter training. We plan to continue our focus on member training and get as many people out of REYR as we can, reestablish connections with our missing flotilla. PA events are starting to resurface again. We're starting to have boat shows, and that's where we do most of our recruiting efforts. And our public education classes are going in person again. And so we plan on using these 2 venues and others we can think of to increase our efforts in recruiting, and we desperately need more people. So I respectfully submit this report. Thank you.
Kyle's doing a great job there. He's really brought it back and has that thinking there, so very well done.
After listening to those 2 guys, it makes it a lot easier to be their district captain, doesn't it? So now I'll talk about Division 8. We have 73 members in 5 flotillas from the Tri-Cities, Yakima, Spokane Valleys in eastern Washington, and Coeur d'Alene and Sampling communities in northern Idaho. Due to our geographic location, it's already down to freezing at night up there, our schedule runs basically from just before Memorial Day to just past Labor Day if we're lucky. And so we've got a shortened season. That coupled with all the protocols that we went through and the wet June that we had, and cold June, we didn't really get on the water till the end of June. And then when the protocols changed and all of our members were allowed to re-engage, we took off and had a terrific season. The Division's 5 coxswain and 7 boat crew provided regatta and patrol assistance for numerous on-water activities in both Sector Puget Sound and Columbia River. We did the Columbia Cup down there. You talked about the hydrofoil races earlier.
And this is the June modified hydro roll races and also swim the lake. We did this in cooperation with the Active Duty Coast Guard. They sent folks over. Up in Coeur d'Alene, we had the CDA Ironman, which if any of you ever worked an Ironman, that's always exciting. You know, 2,200 people in water at the same time. The water's 50 degrees, and these guys practiced in heated swimming pools. So you know how that works. Not in a lake, it's moving and very cold. Okay? So that was kind of a shock for everyone, literally. We also had the CDA crossing, the CDA triathlon, and then the 4th of July, the active duty was over, and they were back over for Labor Day for Operation Inland Vigilance, which we ended up doing a lot of things that were a lot of fun with them. The on-water operational members conducted over 300 specific patrol missions in our 2-month period, including SARS, training, MOMS, regattas, and ATOMs. We have 7 recreational program visitors, which we conducted 434 program visits. Our 13 vessel examiners conducted 239 vessel safety checks. And as far as PA events, we had a number of things, including National Night Out. We did that. Safe Boating Education Program in partnership with the University of Idaho, which was really kind of exciting. We got out there and dealt with a lot of the kids, and other events throughout the boating season. Thank you.
Division 7.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm not feeling real well from last night. So, a little slow this morning. But I welcome you all here. I'm John Mackey, Division 7 Division Commander. I'd like to thank Commodore Singler, District Chief staff, and everybody for putting this district conference together as we are re-engaging from effects of the pandemic, trying to get life back to normal. I'm fortunate to be the Division Commander of Division 7. My wife, Katrina, will be here with me this evening. Division 7 has 142 members and 5 flotillas. Our primary goals in the division are supporting the flotilla needs for promoting water safety, education, and related activities. The training needs of members this last spring were primarily in the areas of vessel examinations and program visits. This fall, we are putting forward efforts to prioritize those needing to renew their QE. Rose Festival occurred in June, with support provided in the areas of patrols, support of shipboard tours, and other ancillary needs. Division 7 also supported public affairs activities with the Hillsborough Air Show and McMinnville Air Show. Vancouver hydroplane races were also supported by Division 7. Several auxiliary members received awards for their support of these activities I just mentioned. Regarding flotillas, I asked each flotilla commander to respond with a brief summary. In 7-1, 1 member retiring, and they're focusing on recruitment. 7-3, completed 6 ATON surveys and 333 vessel inspections. 7-6, 3 new members, 13 VEs completed in 2022, 1 RVS and 1 AUX-OP earned. In 7-8, 5 new member applications in progress. Flotilla members taught the Boat America monthly, the Boat America class monthly during all the summer. In 7-12, 2 members will soon be receiving devices. One is the Cutterman device and the other is the Marine Safety Ribbon. 1 member recently received the AUX-OP. I'm grateful to DCAP Kevin Thiel for his guidance, along with Vice Commander Robert Thiel, who is an active partner in division leadership. I'm especially thankful for the patience and dedicated members of Division 7 and those dedicated flotilla commanders, Nancy McCready, Jim Fensky, Mary Shutt, Linda McCarty, and Pat Wolcott. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, pardon me. So my name is Ron Pilsner, and I'm from Division 6. So Division 6 is a relatively small division with flotillas located on the Washington coast from Station Grays Harbor through Cape Disappointment, Station Tillamook, and then inland to McMinnville. We have 64 members, and we cover the area from the Columbia River up to Puget Island, the upper part of the Willamette River, and of course the ocean shores off of the area from Tillamook to through the Cape. So Flotilla 62, we'll go through that way, provided crew members for, or crew academy for members from Division 5, 6, and 7. So we try to be inclusive, and I think that's part of what Kevin was speaking about on having that unity within the area. We did flare training with the active duty at Cape Disappointment. The gentleman epoxied floors in the operational facility haul-out area. That, all the construction that I'm speaking about was done thanks to the leadership of Marcus Smith, who will more than likely be our next division commander of 6. They also installed new HVAC units at KD, spent 6 days removing and replacing and epoxying floors in the mess deck at KD, which included the removal of 5 layers of old floors. Provided 2 operational facilities, PA and communication theater, and 2 vehicles for what we call Loyalty Day in Long Beach, Washington. That was a lot of fun. Provided PA trader for Saturday markets in El Waco. That's happened each Saturday. Safety fairs at Costco. Again, all these PA events we've used for recruiting not only of auxiliaries, but hopefully getting names and numbers for the active duty. We also conducted a rod run event in Long Beach and a children's parade. So together with a member from Flotilla 66 and 3 from Division 5, we provided 4 operational facilities and a total membership of 11 people from Division 6 for the Rose Festival Safety Zone in support of, again, Division 7. Provided 2 operational facilities for 9 MOM and training patrols for buoy 10 patrol. So for those who do not know what buoy 10 is, it's the great fishery that we experience on the coast each year in August. And we have people from literally all around the world come to catch the big Chinook coming upriver. And it gets to be quite a melee out there. So our mere presence of flying the flag really kind of calms the waters down. We've seen that in the past. So that did result in several assists consisting of towing and guidance in the fog of recreational fishermen. Provided 2 operational facilities for the Astoria Regatta. Flotilla 62 also provided Columbia River estuary ramp duty, resulting in 164 man-hours. 1,000 boats were observed, 3,000 fishermen, and 347 safety packets handed out. So we look for things like, I call them gork plugs. For those of you who do not know what a gork plug is, if you don't have it, the boat will go gork, gork, gork. I love to tell fishermen that. They always ask me, what's a gork plug? I'll have to, admit that I was quoted one time in the newspaper, The Historian, and the guy asked me, the reporter asked me the same question, so that was very interesting. Okay, where am I at here? Let's see, Flotilla 62 also provided Columbia, already said that, didn't I? We provided 2 operational facilities for training with KD and active duty on multiple occasions. So that's worked out very well. Provided an operational facility for the Astoria fireworks as well. Provided 9 members to act as evaluators for Sector of Columbia River active shooter exercise. That was a lot of fun. We'll be doing the great earthquake shakeout thing coming up. So we act as evaluators. So if they don't act properly and climb under the desk properly, we report them to the sector commander. So, yeah, it's kind of fun watching them all get curled down in there. Yeah. Anyway, we provided beach guard duty along Long Beach Peninsula. That's been a big help. Just explaining to people what the surf can do, what not to do. Watch out for the undertows. And so I'm sure, again, we don't know how many lives we may have saved, but I do know that we've got people out there and talked them back before they had to call the helicopters out. One in particular person I'll mention by name, Ray Latham, provided 138 hours of watch standing at Station Grays Harbor. He put in 3,609 miles just doing that back and forth from his home. We provided members to attend the inauguration of Westport, Washington, as a Coast Guard city. We fed PFDs on kids at Black Lake, which is one of those activities that, it serves as a PA event. New members, we do have a new member coming in 262 who wants to become an auxiliary clergy support person. And he is a clergy, obviously, so his name will be going up to district. Flotilla 66 also has a new member who is a clergy and desires to become an ASC member as well. So from Division 6, we will have a couple of those. They also participated in I'm Hooked, a PFD fitting of kids at Hague Lake, and participated in an event called Hogan's Hideout, another PFD fitting for kids. So great PA work events. Provided several navigational Payton patrols on the Willamette River, thanks to Mr. Weimer. Flotilla 63 has a certified commercial fishing vessel examiner. He's just getting started, so we're looking forward to seeing a lot of work from him. And has provided our quarterly newsletter. So Division 6 provided 212 hours of underway patrols, 438 vessel exams, and 154 commercial fishing vessel exams.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jenny Shea, and I am the Vice Division Commander for Division 5, and our Division Commander, Steve Mathis, sends his apologies for not being able to be here. So Division 5 consists of 6 flotillas located in Western Oregon and the Oregon coast from Depot Bay, which is about the center of the coast in Oregon, all the way down to the California border, which consists of roughly 240 miles. We currently have 130 members with a net increase of 11 members since April of 2022. Wow. Division 5 currently serves 5 stations with direct support in operations, food services, SAR-best maintenance, and watch standing. With that said, we do have our ups and downs in Division 5. Much like other divisions, keeping members involved in local flotilla events, and trying to engage people in leadership activities and trainings. And another big down for our division is the loss of Miss Linda. She was a 76-foot long vessel. This auxiliary vessel was primarily used by the active duty to practice towing of a vessel more akin to what they would tow, to what the active duty would tow with commercial vessels. This facility was also a platform for hoisting operations practice with the Coast Guard Air Station North Bend. Lastly, she was also used to help conduct training with auxiliary and enhanced operations diversity, and she will be greatly missed by everybody in Division 5. But we do also have some positives. So to date, our flotillas have done a combined number of 1,091 vessel safety checks, which is 20% of the district goal of 5,000. And also our flotillas combined have also conducted 3,500 program visits, which is about 50% of the district's goal of 7,000. Number 2, our flotillas have completed over 10 public education classes, with 1 flotilla conducting 9 of those. And lastly, members are slowly starting to come around with at least engagement in meetings because of Zoom, and that's become a vital platform for Division 5. And it's been asked to become a more permanent form of communication as well. So our plans for next year. We want to encourage and increase more leadership, training to our flotillas and members to help create awareness of the training and to meet our members where they are in their auxiliary training and in their auxiliary journey and guide them to where they want to be. Two, we want and need more communications between division leadership with flotilla leaders and flotilla members, starting with a more fluid communication up and down that chain. Three, we need more involvement. We hope to develop a community of mentorship to flotilla commanders and flotilla vice commanders, creating that culture of learning and stewardship and diversity all across the flotillas. And more than ever, we need to start recognizing our members for all of their accomplishments, big or small. Our division hopes to enhance this by recognizing auxiliaries more at the flotilla, division, and district events. Now, with that said, there are a couple of thank yous I'd like to give out. So Scott Fisher and George Stinker for creating and distributing thousands of paddlecraft safety kits. So you know the safety kits you have seen distributed around in the plastic, I guess the box, with the little kits in there with the brochure and I think a whistle and maybe another item there. It was those two guys.
Found sticker too.
It found sticker, thank you. Those two gentlemen were pivotal in creating that and making it happen. Joe Cohen for his continued leadership and guidance to his flotilla and his eagerness to learn. Tom Murphy and Paula Beckman for conducting a combined total of 1,200 program visits between just those two. Kenny Kent and Tom Divis, who are working with Station Yaquina Bay, conducting operation patrols for active duty reserves and doing this at least twice a month. And Renard Mayari for helping to staff booths at emergency management fairs and boating shows. And Barbara Rockford for her continued work as ombudsman for the Coast Guard Station Chenko River. Thank you so much.
Good morning, I'm Jared Ellers. I am the Division Commander for Division 4. Our area is essentially the western northern part of Washington State. We have 6 flotillas in 1 detachment and approximately 90 members, well, 92 as of right now. Coming in this year, I had some fairly simple goals. And that was basically get us back active again. Our flotillas had been hit pretty hard with the COVID shutdowns. And our active flotillas became pretty inactive. That in turn caused some problems with operational on the water concerns. So again, my goal this year was to get us back active on the water. And we have been pretty successful at that. We have managed to get a large portion of our boat crew members back requalified. They are all coming due this year. We also have increased our coxswains by 1, which is good because we now have a coxswain in the southern, central, and northern part of our division. So that helps to facilitate us getting on the water more often. So far this year, my division has done just under 5,000 hours of recorded activities. Those include 451 program visits, 315 vessel examinations, 40 paddlecraft examinations, and just under 40 hours of MOM patrols, 135 hours of regatta safety support, and 128 hours of actual watch standing up at Port Angeles Air Station. A few of the highlights from some of my flotillas. Flotilla 41 in Fort Ludlow actually has 2 members who have been qualified and got qualified as the U.S. Coast Guard Academy Admissions Partners. So they're working quite a bit with that. I also have one member in that flotilla who has been trained with the active duty. The Port Angeles Small Boat Station has opened up training for us, so our members can go up there and get some on-the-water training with the active duty. One member has spent quite a bit of time doing that and also has been QE'd by the active duty as well. Swim is one of our flotillas, has been pretty active in getting us back into public affair events. So they help organize the Port Townsend Wind Boat Festival. And also we did a joint public affair event with the active duty up at Port Angeles Airport for the Armed Forces Appreciation event. So Port Angeles Flotilla, a lot of their members are very active with the air station and small boat station. We have members who are doing watch standing. We have one member who's completed their DEERS training, and another one that's in process. And they also helped man the booth at the Armed Forces Appreciation Day as well. Bremerton, we have been pretty active with working with our detachment's been very active, actually working with Gig Harbor, the city and police department to help organize a couple things. We did a regatta support for the Paddle Fest event that we had there this spring. We actually helped them to realize they didn't actually file all their federal paperwork for the water events. So we helped them get that done. In addition, we did a joint vessel examination event with the Gig Harbor Police Department, the drive-up event. Let's see. A couple other flotillas have been, 48 for example, has been very active, with doing the boat safety courses. So they've hosted 2 of those, and they got 1 more coming this month. So challenges. Challenges is going to be similar that we've already heard. Getting members engaged. We have a small subset of very active members and a large subset of inactive members. In addition, we're having issues with getting people to stand up for elected positions, and that's becoming pretty problematic in several flotillas. What was now. Overall, through COVID, our numbers had remained fairly steady. But this year, unfortunately, I think we are going to shrink number-wise in the division, and which is going to require us to do some reorganization of the division and the flotillas themselves. But I am still hopeful and optimistic that we can turn it around. I've gotten great support from the Commodore and District Chief of Staff and D. Captain North. I've been talking to them probably way too much via Zoom lately, but they have been very helpful in turning things around and helping me through some of the challenges that we faced. Thank you.
You also have a JLOD, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, in case you don't know what that is, that's a junior officer of the day. Actually, at one of the stations there, so that's fantastic.
Good morning, my name is Neil Christensen. I am currently the flotilla commander for Flotilla 33 out of Tacoma. I am standing in for our Division Commander Stephen Creaser and Vice Commander Tony Marola, who unfortunately are not able to be with us today. So Division 3 covers the South Puget Sound and all part of King, Pierce, Thurston, Mason, and Lewis counties, with flotillas located in Des Moines, Tacoma, and Olympia. We're happy to report that there are a number of new members across the division this year, and we have a total manning of 50 currently. Our main activities center around recreational boating safety missions with program visitation, vessel safety check, community outreach taking top billing, including, of course, supporting the Washington State Fair, which is just wrapping up. To this end, we've had a number of our members, especially from our new additions, earn qualifications in these and related programs. Looking ahead to next year, our top priority is ensuring a smooth transition of leadership for all units so that we can continue to push forward with the activities in the coming year. And And as with all divisions across the district, we would also like to see a higher proportion of our members being active and involved in the coming months as we look to rebuild coming out of COVID. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Klaus Nance, the Division Commander for Division 2, Seattle Metro. So impressed with what the other divisions have reported. It's really wow. Since our spring district meeting, Division 2 has so much to report. In fact, too much to cover in 5 minutes. So I thought I'd best share with you our fall issue of the division newsletter. For those in the audience and watching via YouTube who haven't received a copy, I will focus on some of the highlights. Division 2 is made up of 3 flotillas with a total membership of 109 auxiliaries. We have grown slightly this year, gaining 5 members, but sadly, we report the passing of our dear longtime active member, John Warner, who marked 40 years of membership in the auxiliary. Our newer members have been quite diligent in learning the ropes. The majority qualified for the new member challenge coin, competing core and BQ training in 30 days or less. We attribute their integration to their enthusiasm and the diligence of our HR officer, Heidi Grayvold. A couple of weeks after the last time we met here in Clackamas, we supported the second Safety at Sea for the Sea Scouts in conjunction with Active Duty Base Seattle. We did a number of marina days providing vessel exams. Some 171 have been completed so far this year. We've had a very successful boat crew academy for us with 7 auxiliaries working on getting their crew qualifications. We also have held TCO, VE, instructor operations and TCP trainings, opening up those classes to the surrounding divisions. We were out on opening day, May 7th, with 2 of our facilities, and again for Seafair this August. We did several online Boat America offerings through the spring and in-person ones in June and September. We were there to show our respect for the veterans going to DC and coming back home on all the honor flights this year, gave tours at the Alki Lighthouse, fellowshiped together on numerous occasions, and had the distinct honor to be in attendance at Station Seattle Change of Watch, where we gave a warm send-off to Lieutenant Commander Alex Gropley, who we had the distinct pleasure of working with over the past 2 years. Our regular flotilla meetings featured timely member training, including the Be Whale-Wise program and other offerings in marine safety and environmental protection. This was made possible through a fully staffed division where we enjoy collaborating together. Each of our division meetings features a diversity moment that were presented by our immediate past division commander, Jeff Hunter. We offered our assistance at the southwest border, culinary assistance on cutters, and interpreter services in the South China Seas. We did beach cleanups, and of course, we have members who became mates to serve side by side with the DSA leaders in supporting Sea Scouts. I personally had the distinct honor of being asked to provide advanced leadership training for select Sea Scout youth from around the country who came to Seattle to hone their bosun skills on a long cruise in the San Juans. Several weeks ago, we learned that Flotilla 22 had been granted level 2 engagement privileges, allowing us to work directly with the Sea Scout youth as auxiliaries. And when the active duty called to request our assistance in the recovery efforts of the fishing vessel Aleutian Isle, we said yes. And reaching out to our friends in Division 4, together we were prepared to offer our support. It was Jason Dean, a former Sea Scout who joined Flotilla 25 just this year after aging out, who did the calls to get individuals to commit to what would be a multi-day mission. We have a lot to celebrate in Division 2. Amazing people, great camaraderie. Thank you.
Good morning, John Brady, Division 1. We are 3 flotillas, Edmonds, Everett. Edmonds just north of Seattle, extending through Everett, and then our northernmost is Bellingham up near the Canadian border. And we also include the San Juan Islands. As the 11th, and I'm sure some of you are thinking, thankfully the last division report, I'm going to keep this brief. I've been sitting over there and just culling. There is a lot of things that have been said this morning that apply to this division as well. I would just like to report that the division's continued to perform admirably over the course of 2022. You know, we've not only had to deal with COVID-19 and negotiate that, and as emerging from that, but then the challenge has additionally been dealing with the administrative burden of dealing with COVID-19. And not just that, but the sliding changes of that, and trying to defuse the confusion of members as to what they can do, what they can't do, trying to keep them informed. It's been a challenge over the course of the year. But we're back. We're starting to see some in-person meetings. We're starting to see meetings that are now deliberately hybrid to try and encourage greater participation with the members. And I see those as all good things. We've got to grow with the times. One of the things that, just to briefly go over, you know, Division 1 has continued to perform essential tasks. One of the big ones in our area, Payton verification. We have so many aids to navigation in the Puget Sound in the northern area, and it is a big effort to continue all of that verification every year. We continue to do the RVS mandate with delivery of classes. I mentioned the use of technology in meetings. The use of technology in the delivery of classes has been expanded. Flotillas are investing in their training or their education funds in acquiring equipment that allows them to deliver higher quality instruction. There have been the usual things. We continue to have high numbers of vessel safety checks, of partner visitations done. I was particularly pleased to see this year very active participation in the Safe Boating Week, and having tables and members at boat launches engaging with the public, handing out kayak or paddlecraft stickers, you know, with found stickers, doing vessel safety checks as they were launching, things like that. It was great to see that we were out there engaging with the public. Additionally, we've been doing a lot of support, the typical surface operations that extended from everything from typical support of Seafair, where we had 3 of Division 1's facilities supporting that for the 4 days, to local fireworks, local regattas, sailing regattas, triathlons, etc., as well as the usual among missions. I was also particularly pleased to see in that aspect, one of my goals originally with the division was we are greater when we are together than when we are operating independently. And by that I mean I was wanting to see that we started to see flotilla staff assist others. And so we saw a lot more this year of boat crews, for example. Crews coming down and supplementing other flotillas' boat crews, so that it gave people, flotillas that didn't have a lot of facilities available, their crews the opportunity to go out and get their hours up. It also was great for cross-training and making sure that we're all operating the same way. So there's been a lot of activity. I don't know that quoting a whole bunch of numbers will necessarily illustrate that even more. But I do want to close with one small thing. As we come to the close of this year, it's the usual time with dues and membership and such that we start to lose some people. And I wanted to take this particular opportunity to call out 2 folks who have been instrumental, one leaving, one not leaving. Just want to make that clear. At this time of the year, I want to call out Penny Milcheski. Penny is a member of Flotilla 11 in Bellingham. She has been an active member of that flotilla for 17, almost 18 years. She has been active in the division in numerous roles as my SOFN, our stand-in SOSR. She's been an ADSOFN at the district, and she's decided that it's time to retire. She has been such a stalwart in supporting Station Bellingham, and I think that all I can say is that we all wish her the very best, and we are going to miss her presence in our ranks. And my last comment is that this marks the end of my 2-year term as DCDR for Division 1, and I would like to publicly thank my VCDR, Kevin Coulomb, for his support and performance that I can only say is over and above any expectation that I could have had for a VCDR. I wanted to publicly thank you. And with that, I cede the floor.
Thank you, very good. So, what I think we should do, I kind of said it the other day, I noticed when the table's starting to raise up a little bit, everybody's getting a little bit antsy, okay? Why don't we take about a 10-minute break, okay? And then we'll come and finish up, all right? So, I got about 10:30, let's say 20 minutes till, okay? Right about.
It's got a lot going on down
have enough to do it. It's my second one. Really? You did an excellent job. Just saying. I think you got there. I never seen I emailed everybody, asked them to submit me reports, and never received anything,
That patrol is so small.
I love it when you speak and present. It's like, really, I just love watching you talk.
By hanging a pipe
It's so professional, it's so well thought out, it has value. I just love watching you talk. It's hard.
You know, and I was thinking the very same thing. I mean, you had me enthralled with your presentation. So, I mean, we have the mutual.
No, I just love it.
She will.
Well, the other thing is, Otter's boat, you gotta put that.
There's none that I've seen.
Put the good use at seafood. So, again, if you need help, feel free to call.
I was like, my voice was kind of like
The
that.
issue is that they called us on a Thursday, on a Friday or a Saturday. And I'm going, this is a volunteer organization. So we need to get that active body, 23 stripes on your shoulder. If you would like us, we need at least a week or 10 days to put something together. A week or 10 days. Because our members have other spouses who want to do things for them. For the most part.
Yeah. Like how much do you have?
If I had had my put that in there and run it up my San Juan Islands, push it off the beach. Out there, I can take it freeboard on my 6-foot runabout, a couple of other 3-foot cabins for the service. Now, accommodations is the other thing. This was a multi-day mission.
Every time I hear you speak, it's there. I'm running unless someone needs me, so I might come from the world. And if not, then I got another plan. Yeah. Mary's next. Mary's next. Easy. District staff shop.
Yeah, that's me. Shush out. Yeah. Someday, I gotta, let me get my calls done. That was one of the meetings that I got put into leadership. I never got
That's what happened to me too.
yeah, I mean, I've only been a member for my 3rd year. Right. But I'm just taking a step back. All the things that Are you a little person or a? Linda called me into IS because I just love the database. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I can do that anytime, during the day or night. All right. He just keeps doing it for still like that. So easy.
We're on great ground. Yes, we have. Appreciate that.
Hi, excuse me. My name's Abe. Nice to meet you. What's your first name? So, your division and vice
Every time I try to walk, you get different.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh, that's not you, sorry.
That's Division 6.
I don't mean to do that, but I don't want to cut into your lunchtime.
No worries, well, nice meeting you.
Because I don't like hungry, angry people. So, I saw where Neil just, but anyway. So, the next item on the agenda, which is basically the Ways and Means Committee. Mr. Ephraim Krischer, are you around, sir? Yes. He's going to present what the Ways and Means Committee talked about. He's also gave me a little thing about already removing me from the bank account, so I don't know what that's about. I've never seen them, but we will give that to Neil because we need it in order for the 2 new people to be put on the bank account. Go ahead, sir. I'll get out of here.
Good morning. I will
Morning.
try to make this short, about an hour. The board members all have the proposed budget, which was adopted by the Ways and Means Committee. The dues, and I highlighted, maybe a few of you don't have the highlights, in that case it's dark. But the dues are based on a membership count of 825, both the incoming and outgoing. 825, hopefully it will be more. We can always adjust the spring meeting if it's significant. The major changes, technology was increased from 2,500 to 5,500 to allow the purchase some equipment for Zoom meetings, to have hybrid meetings, the capability of hybrid meetings. We also bought some equipment.
That's actually for streaming, everyone, so you know. It's not just for the Zoom itself, but the actual cameras and equipment, which you see our definite advisor, leader, and everything else.
Nerd.
Lewis over there.
And we also bought some equipment prior to this meeting, rather than using rental equipment, which would pay for itself in actually one meeting with the charges, the hotel charge. So that was an increase, a one-time increase, minor increase on awards and memorials. Food service was increased because we believe there'll be additional food service usage during the year. And we came pretty close to the budget this year. DCO entertainment was increased modestly. The DCO travel and the DCOS travel were increased to pre-COVID times. And hopefully they'll be able to use it all in the coming year. That's basically all the modifications or the increases. And if we need, you'll see one thing on my use of checking funds, and that's to balance the budget. But this year we don't see actually the need. We won't be going into the checking funds for this year. So I would appreciate a motion and a vote to approve the proposed budget to be the budget for 2023.
So do I have a motion to accept the budget the Ways and Means with the changes?
I move that we accept the budget.
By the board. Oh, sorry.
Motion.
Okay, do I have a second? Second. Do we have any further discussion on it?
Who moved, who seconded? I did.
I move.
You
I
moved.
seconded.
Okay. Any further discussion? With no further discussion, by a show of hands, please show all those in favor of accepting it. We have a,
The presiding officer calls whether or not we do.
all right, we, normally you'll do the count, but that's okay. We do have a raised hand, so we do have a majority, okay? Been accepted.
Thank you. I would also like to give my thanks to Penny Wazowski, who's going to be retiring soon for her many years, a really dedicated service as an ADSO finance. just been a real solid member of the team. Certainly thank her. This has been my first year. She's been a great help. She's been a great help in the past. So I hope she has a very well-earned retirement.
Yeah, and just a quick note on Penny too. Penny also was part of our investigations team who traveled all around for me and for previous Commodores. She also was the DSO over the state liaison. So we're losing a heck of a person, but I wish her all the best in the world because she's really done a fantastic job. And anyway, with that in mind, so you've been sent the minutes, but what I'd like to do on the minutes, because we'll have the minutes from this meeting, okay, within the next couple days, tonight. And then, so at our next XCOM meeting at our regular time, we'll actually take the vote to accept the minutes, okay, because you hadn't had a chance, or have not had a chance to read them, okay, and I prefer you to do that. Not that there'd be any mistakes, I tell you, Neil's so quick on that, but I did send him a recording, and so we're still in that learning stage about when we don't have him there. So, anyway, with that, I'm not gonna go a whole lot into old and new business. I think we've covered a lot of items. I'd like to go ahead and maybe talk at the end of just some thank yous and different things, and as I normally do, I'll try to keep it as short as heck. Yes, sir? Oh, I'm sorry. Is that what you was gonna tell me?
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you this, okay? So this is from Ephraim, this is the DSOFM, but what is requesting that the new DCO, Dan Keenly, the new DCOS, Craig Hartman, be put on to, and ADSOFN, Arthur Cummings, and of course DSOFN, Ephraim Krischer, be put on the bank account. We need it in the minutes to say that, okay? As authorized as signatories for District 13, all of the District 13 bank accounts. And as I said earlier, I love how they put this and remove me from all the bank accounts. I don't know if I understand that, but that's as of December the 31st for sure. And that at that time you would remove ADSO Penny Roszewski from as signatory because of the retirement.
Got that as read?
Huh?
Do you want that moved as read?
No, it just goes into the minutes. Go ahead.
Move it.
Normally we read it and say without objection.
Oh.
I have the previous language if you would like.
And just put in there about removing me and who to put on it? That's fine.
Cool. So the language that would be inserted in the minutes without objection, if you don't object. As of 1 January 2023, Dan Keenly is the duly elected Commodore 13, and Craig Hartman is the duly elected District Chief of Staff 13. Those authorized to sign on the District 13 financial accounts include the following. Ephraim Krischer, District Finance Officer 13, Dan Keenly, District Commodore 13, Craig Hartman, District Chief of Staff 13. Tiny signaler, the immediate past District Commodore will be removed as a signatory authority.
And also Penny.
And Penny Milczewski will be removed as a signatory authority.
And I think that there was one additional person like that.
And Arthur Cummings, as an ADSOFN, as a signatory.
Okay. Any objections to this? There's no objections, I so move to that's accepted. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is give an opportunity for some closing remarks from everyone, and it's been great so far. And we're getting along fine. I told you I'm going to try to not hold you up, okay? But with this, I'd like to have DCAP East, right? Yeah. Closing remarks, sir, or just remarks.
Thank you. I look forward to being your chief of staff and serving on you next year and the years in the future. We've got a lot of work ahead, but I'm excited about it. I think we can revitalize our district and our members. And again, thank you very much.
Okay, and DCAP North.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. And I know it's the end of a longish meeting, and we've got a lot more listening to do today. So, but I did want to call out a few individual people because I think that there's a lot of unsung heroes and heroines in our organization, and I want to thank all of you because I know you all do a lot, and many of us who wear bars, we don't really feel like we want more and more and more awards and recognition, but I do recognize that all of you have worked really hard this year, and I just want to thank you for that. There's a few people in each of our divisions that I think, and I don't have all of their names, but I frankly really want to call out a few people that I think were really exemplary this year and innovative and just really hardworking. I really want to thank Kelvin Colon for really stepping up and helping out a lot in Division 1 and all the folks that day in and day out set up trainings for their co-auxiliaries and help people maintain their qualifications. I know a lot of that happened in all of our divisions. I know Division 1 particularly really shined in the area of both member training and in public education this year, and really helped out their neighbors in providing their facilities and their. So just want to really thank Division 1 for that. In Division 2, I think there's a few people that really need some recognition. Class is one for really spearheading and having this vision for how that Ox Scout program could really benefit our organization. And Division 2, and particularly Class, and a couple other people in Flotilla 2 have really been energetic and tireless in really building that program, and it's a model for everybody else. And I really want to encourage other parts of the district to emulate that. And I know the folks at Flotilla 2 can really give a lot of advice and guidance and coaching. And so I hope you'll take advantage of that, and that we'll see that program spread throughout this year. In terms of getting back out there with the public, some of our public affairs activities, Division 2 really shined this way, but all of the divisions I can hear really got back out with the public again. The Alki Point Lighthouse mission is something that I'm personally involved with, and I just want to shout out to a quiet member of Division 2, Mike Bro, who was there every single Sunday from Memorial Day to Labor Day, 65 hours total, and plus all the time that it took him to get back and forth from his home in another part of Seattle with a broken West Seattle bridge. It probably took him at least an hour and a quarter each way every single Sunday, and then about 4 or 5 hours right at the lighthouse. So, and then other people like Dale Vodica and Will Winter, who you probably never met. He's a very quiet member of the auxiliary, but those guys put in over 50 hours at the lighthouse this summer. So lots of people deserve recognition. I wanted to make sure to shout out to a few extra people. And I did want to thank, everybody who attended John Warner's memorial service this year. John was a real treasured member of the auxiliary, and the auxiliary was such an important part of his life. And I can tell you that probably over half of the people at the memorial service were people from the auxiliary, and I was really proud that we really showed up, and thank you to those of you who came all the way from Oregon to attend. That was very touching. And so, you know, there's people like John that are quiet, hard workers in all of our units, and before we lose them, let's take the time to thank them and celebrate them. And if somebody's celebrating a milestone in the auxiliary, make a special event out of it and do some, down memory lane opportunities for everybody to thank that person before it's too late. Because we never know. Life is precious, as we know from this pandemic. And I just want to really encourage you to recognize the people in your units and in your families and communities. And that's all I have to say. And I will be around, even though I won't be wearing, I'll be wearing these bars, but I won't be a decap next year. But I hope to see you and help you out.
Thank you. Decamp South.
Good morning again. Spring and summer kept folks in the southern area busy, supporting recreational boating with the Coast Guard. Throughout the spring and summer, we had folks out doing vessel exams, program visits. Several flotillas had events for National State Boating Week. For me, that was probably a real startup because I spent a Saturday with Robert Magel and Darren and John Stewart out at 42nd Street, and it's the first time in a long time that we did that, and it was particularly memorable to me. It was like starting that old cat engine on the farm that was a little bit grumpy, but we got it going and we had a lot of fun. There was a lot of mention made earlier by the division commanders about the PA events in the southern area this year, and that was an outstanding effort. On Memorial Day, Division 7 assisted the active duty. We put Coast Guard flags at the grave sites of Coast Guard veterans at Willamette National Cemetery in Portland. Rosa Fest. I know you guys have heard a lot about it, but Kenny Kent, Dean Weimer, Marcus Smith, Ron Hilbert each brought vessels from out of area with crews. We couldn't have done it without that help. Ray Latham from Division 6 did the radio watch at Mobile 9. George Long came down from Division 8 and was our OxPATCom. Tom Elliott from Division 8 came down and coxswained one of our vessels. This is a team effort that crossed division lines. There were 4 divisions there, and that's the way the Coast Guard is supposed to work. And they helped us at a time when we've got vessels that are on the hard. We had a couple of members that couldn't offer vessels this year, so we were in a very different place as a division, and we couldn't have done it without them. There were also folks that assisted with ship tours, and they also helped with line handling this year, which is something we've never done. When the ships arrived and departed, we had people do line handling for the arriving and departing vessels at the Portland Seawall. And hopefully we'll get to do that again. I got to do one of them on Monday morning when they left, and it was pretty neat. This team, this Rose Fest team, embodied the values of the Coast Guard, and I couldn't have been happier or prouder. There were other events that didn't get mentioned earlier. Newport Lola Days, Blessing the Fleet, Fleet of Flowers Depot Fair, Dory Days, and Blessing the Fleet of Pacific City. So there was a lot of activity. July 4th, we were all out throughout the area at local fireworks displays. Again, in mid-July, 5, 6, and 7 teamed up to help Dean do 8-town patrols on the line between Newburgh and Wilsonville. Another really great event. There were RBS missions and QE sessions throughout the area, and they still continue at this point. And as Ron mentioned earlier, Buoy 10. I gotta tell you, there was a rainy morning in late August. I got to go to the boat ramp at Fort Canby, right next to Cape Disappointment. I got to spend a rainy morning with John Lester and Della Wilson. And it was rainy, but I was struck by their enthusiasm and their desire to be there. And I know those guys were out every morning early before sunrise, you know, checking in on the fishermen, doing BEs, giving them materials. It all matters. And I know there were a lot of folks that worked on Buoy 10, and there were a lot of lives saved because of it. COVID limited our response, but when you look back at this year, you know, we might have been 2/3 throttle compared to a normal year, but I have to believe that everybody did their best, and as best as condition allowed, we were out there. I appreciate you guys for your support, your good work, your professionalism, and for doing things safely. I want to finally recognize Steve Mathis and Ron Hilberger. This is your last division meetings, division commanders. Thank you so much for all you've done. It's been a pleasure to work with you guys. You've done excellent work, and I really appreciate you. You've got humor, you've got wit when things go a little sideways. That tends to bring things back where they're supposed to be, at least for me. And thank you, everyone, for your hard work. Be safe and report.
All right, Commander Jansen.
Jensen, you have some closing remarks, sir.
First, congratulations to all the new electees. It's great to see people move up in the organization like that. And to those who ran but weren't elected, it's always nice to see the interest of people taking on additional responsibilities and duties. It's great to have that competition, and it builds a better organization for sure. The division commanders, thank you for those reports. Hearing about your AORs and what you're doing out there really makes me want to get out there and check out some of those clear lakes. I've been taking some notes here. I have a pretty good work list here, so I'm really excited to work with the new team, new leadership team, and get things moving in the right direction here. Finally, it's great to see the fellowship and the camaraderie here amongst the team. And I look forward to continuing that tonight. Thanks.
All right, thank you, sir. Commodore Kirkwood, you have some remarks.
Well, I would just like to say ditto to what the commander just said. I think that was everything I'd like to say. And congratulations to the people who were elected today. Awesome. And for those who didn't make it, I hope you try again next time, because we are always looking for good leaders. And I know you come with good experience, and even though you didn't make it this time, doesn't mean that you're not worthy of running again and making it in the future. So what a great morning this has been. I enjoyed XCOM yesterday, where I learned some of the things that were going on, and then today hearing from each of the divisions about the different things in your flotillas. You do a tremendous amount of activities. It's just amazing. For what, about 900 members?
Yep.
Yeah, that's just amazing, the amount of coverage that you have throughout this area, and public affairs activities and all. Just hats off to you for the work that you do, and I have no doubt that you'll continue to bring good members in over the next couple of years. And again, Dan and Craig, we've got D13 in good hands going forward. And again, thanks Tiny for your last several years now, and several years. And I look forward to working with you in your new role. So you're in good hands with PAC area. So thank you. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Lieutenant Booth.
Last person that I think to speak before lunch, and I'll keep it super quick. Thank you again for having the Chief Director's Office here. It's a wonderful morning, and I learned so much. Congratulations again to the winners, I'll echo that. And best of luck leading D13. I know you guys have a lot of great missions and a lot of great people, so they're lucky to have you guys take them to the next level. And then I would just say, echo again, thank you for all the work that your members did and the leadership you guys provided for them. Just listening this morning, just a tremendous amount of work has gone in. And as volunteers, speaking from, I can speak for the active duty side. You guys, you volunteer your time, you volunteer your resources, you volunteer your energy, and you serve as a true inspiration to us. And that force multiplier, we can't thank you enough. And then just as Commodore Kirkwood said, go back all the way to what you said in the opening remarks. BSX, it is a small office, so what we lack in manpower we make up for in experience. Not me, but all my coworkers who have just either experience in the auxiliary or experience in their position. So we ask for your patience as we work through things based on our manpower, but we do the best we can to provide the support for you guys. I'm flying out to 3,000 miles tomorrow morning, but I'm only an email away or a phone call as well, so please feel free to touch base if there's anything I can do. So thank you guys so much.
All right, Commodore Keenley.
Well, I have to tell you that I am greatly disappointed. I had, oh, wrong speech. tremendous thank you. As I sit here and hear all the activities and everything that is accomplished in the district, I'm just amazed, and to have the responsibility to support that and help the members of the district. I'm really taken back. I can tell you that I'll do my very best. And my policy is the same as Tiny's as far as an open door. We'll be sure and take their call at any time, and we'll help everybody as much as I can. Thank you.
You know, it's always, the thing that we always keep in our mind is who is going to do the follow-up, who is going to take over when you leave. And there's no doubt in my mind, we have a great team with the new DCAPs, the chief of staff, and the new Commodore. I do very much put out to the people that did not win, do not ever quit, come back again, because I guarantee you things change, but I look forward to the next 2 years. I want to tell you, I do want to thank each of you in here right now, and I want to thank everybody that's out there listening in on the live stream for all the support and all the things that you've done for this district and in support of me. I never felt like I was anywhere outside or not part of it. I always felt that we operated as a team, and that's a kindred spirit that cannot be forgotten. And it's what's important. It's what's going to carry us through. See, I know we have a couple areas and a couple problems, but I know what we have and what we've been doing. And I know that's coming back around. We have some leaders in there. Each one of you division commanders have done, pardon the expression, a hellacious job, is the best way to put it, because you've held them together through this critical period of COVID and coming out of COVID. It's not only COVID, okay? It's the attitudes out there right now. It's because people forgot how to commingle. It's the best way I can put it. You forgot how to talk to people because, you know, we have to wear pants now. I mean, I look a little strange up here if I wasn't in them, but it's funny, but it's the truth. This is what we're looking at. So we got out on the water, we got to events, we're doing public affairs, we're doing public education. Could we do more? Thank you. Okay? But we're just learning how to get back out there and do it. And our members are too, all right? But it's not about me doing a cheerleader effect for the future. It's about telling you thank you for the past. And it's been the greatest honor and privilege to be your Commodore for the last 3.5 years, okay? Or whatever it is. I don't care, 3 years of officially, whatever, you know, but I'm still here, okay? And I'll always be here. I know that Dan will answer the phone. I know that Craig will answer the phone. And if not, he'll call you. Sorry about that. But I don't mind. You know, to me, that's what's been the greatest thing in the world, is knowing that we're helping a member. But what is really helping is the voting public and the Coast Guard. And I'm going to leave you with, they're our two main clients. That's what we're about. And so, do we have to work a little bit harder as leaders to try to make it through this period, that we start coming back up and get full throttle? Yeah, that's what we're about. But we are here. I want to leave with just a couple of things. I sent out today about, or last night, I can't remember, they're gelling together, okay, about getting the submittals for the Green Award Award to me by October the 15th. That's National Board. There's no reason why I shouldn't have 38 submittals hitting me, okay? And just do it the best you can. We'll get with Commodore Weimer and his team to make sure that we have the right photos, everything else, but you don't need to wait till October the 15th to send them to me and try to get it done. I can't. It cannot happen. Awards, start thinking about them now. You guys that are, and ladies that are in your final couple of months, okay, in your positions, think of the people that you want to thank, and the way you thank them is writing up an award for them. And this is what we need to do. And I want to leave this word again, and I want you to remember, re-engage, okay? Re-engage our membership. Call them. Just, it's a simple call. Hey, they may tell you some funny words, okay? But it doesn't matter, I'm used to hearing them, okay? So I just call them, and you know what really happens? There's an old adage, okay? That sometimes we don't listen long enough to find out what the problem is. Okay? And that's the reason the good Lord gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Okay? And so that's what we need to start doing. Thank you so much. All right? Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? Do I have a second?
Second.
Raise your hands and let's get out of here and eat, okay? Thank you.